Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, June the 21st. And just a quick explanation of where I've been recently. I told you about my daughter and buying a home, and now my son had bought one last week. So over the last week, I've been busy helping them move in and just get everything settled and get decorated and all. So it's been a busy week. So back with you, and I want to discuss the relationship that we had heard in the news about Meg going out to eat with Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow, who is the owner of the very expensive website lifestyle brand called Goop. So let me go back and let's just get to that content. Excuse me for scrolling down. All right. First of all, let's get started with Spotify, and then we'll move on to Goop. Meghan Markle looks somber in her first sighting since Spotify deal collapse. A source close to the situation told the Post, that Prince Harry and Markle's Archwell content creation company has not produced enough content for their roughly $20 million Spotify deal to pay off. Now, it said that each of them came to a decision that they no longer wanted to work together, but we know that it took them forever to come up with any kind of content. And then once you came up with archetypes, now people are actually talking about it in the media that it was mostly their other producers that did the interviewing of the guest, and that she just kind of took that information and jumped in and really didn't do much of the work herself, which I believe we all felt that way. So, said she appeared downcast in her first public sighting. Spotify ended her and Prince Harry's $20 million podcast deal, and I believe that's the way it went. At one point, Markle took her headphones out on the walk, and this is where she's in the sweater with the navy stripes, and walked beside a member of her security detail. She also frequently glanced at her phone. The Duchess of Sussex, whose hair was styled in a fresh blowout, went makeup free. Nah, when does she ever go makeup free? And skipping down, then she threw a blue and white striped sweater over a shirt. Who wears black jeans, a black long sleeve t-shirt, and then a white and navy sweater over that? And I don't know if that was one of the Dior sweaters or not, but we'll talk about that as well. Meghan Markle looks somber. This is the picture that I was talking about. And, of course, she just has to be out there distancing herself from Harry and just wants to say, hey, I'm still here. Nothing to be ashamed of. That was me deciding not to continue on with the deal. Also, page 6 shows the beautiful picture of Prince William beams with joy in Father's Day photo with his 3 kids. What a lovely photo. Now, this goes on, this from page 6, it's talking about is their empire crumbling as Spotify ends the podcast deal. So it says that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's American media empire is beginning to crumble, royal expert claims. Well, I believe we've all been saying that. Following the shocking news that Spotify will not be renewing Markle's Archetypes podcast, 2 monarchy mavericks say this could be the start of their downfall. Biographer Angela Levin told The Sun that the pair's value isn't as high as it once was, and predicted that their future projects will be a disaster. Well, I don't believe that anybody would want to connect with their brand because it is crumbling, and I believe that what finally tipped them over the edge was the alleged New York car chase after she was there to collect the award in New York City. I believe people just said enough is enough with the victimhood. The idea was that several series would be produced. He told The Sun, since only one was, there's no doubt the contract could be considered a failure. It was announced Thursday Harry 38, Markle 41 would be cutting ties with them after 3 years. It's also revealed that Markle's podcast Archetypes would not be getting a second season despite garnering high ratings when it debuted last year. And I don't believe those ratings. I think she fell somewhere between 70 and 200 and never was on top. I think those were manipulated to protect the people that initiated this contract with her, to show that it was actually paying off to be able to pay these two the amount of money they did, and they were afraid heads would roll, and they actually did. And now there's been another 200 employees cut from their position there. So this is what I want to talk about as well. So getting some Goop tips as Meghan Markle dines out with actress turned lifestyle guru Gwyneth Paltrow, and it was supposed to be Cameron Diaz too. So it says the TIG, female lifts the lid on close connections between the two women and their rival blogs. I don't believe there's any connection at all, except the fact that Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth live in Montecito now, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that. But I think that Meghan knew that they frequented there, and that's why she made reservations so that she could go and be seen where other people are. And I don't think that they actually even had dinner together or that they are friends, because I don't think Gwyneth would associate herself with Meghan nor Cameron. It says that rumors that Meghan Markle is set to revive her lifestyle blog. We've been hearing about that for how many months now? And it's been swirling for months, sparking speculation that the former actress is gunning for Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness crown. Well, Meghan's was a very small blog and website, and then it was even rumored that she paid somebody to keep that going or to do the writing of the content for. So I don't believe that Gwyneth has anything to worry about. Excuse me. And I don't think she would meet with her and talk to her and try to help her get her own blog up and going and be, well, not that she would be a rival with her, but Meghan would try to be. While comparisons have been drawn between Meghan and Gwyneth on multiple occasions, as well as their respective websites, the TIG and Goop, there were not known to be any connection between them until Friday evening, when the Sussexes reportedly joined Gwyneth and her husband, Brad Falchuk, for a dinner date in Beverly Hills. The Duchess of Sussex, 41, and the Iron Man star, 50, are said to have dined at a sushi bar in Montecito on Friday evening alongside their husbands, as well as Cameron Diaz and her husband, Benji Madden, and Bumble founder Whitney Hoff Hurd and her husband, Michael. Meghan and Gwyneth enjoyed the night out just weeks after the royal trademarks request for the TIG was approved. Well, was it approved? I also think that they're running into some issues with their license to be able to get that blog up and running again, which meant she could finally bring back the burgeoning blog. Don't believe it. Now, she's walking in behind Cameron Diaz, and I think that's a fluke. And I'm sure that Meghan has called the Paps to make sure she gets pictured there. But based on their recent sushi date, it seems as though Meghan may be turning to the Shakespeare in Love alum, that would be Gwyneth, for some advice rather than competing against her. Oh, this is a video. Let me stop it for 1 second. When somebody had talked to her, I think that it was one of the entertainment shows, we'll see in a second, that body language expert noticed that a change in Meghan's mood after they compared the TIG and Gwyneth Paltrow's comparison to Goop. So hold on a second.
It's in Toronto. So we are there 9 months out of the year, so I miss my sunshine.
It's got a lot of like cooking and travel and
We're getting
you, and it's got a lot of like cooking and travel and fashion and beauty, like really just about you.
Yeah, it's an extension of the things that I just love, right? People would ask me like, where should I go for vacation, or what's the best place to have the hidden gem of perfect bite of food? So I interview Michelin star chefs, and we go and source out the best travel places, and of course have to be here for Fashion Week because the TIG does a lot of coverage for that too. So I just came from a show right here to hang out with you guys, but
so it's like your own little mini Goop.
Yeah, I guess in many ways, yeah. I mean, it's similar, and of course, the Goop was the impetus for so many of these sites. But I think the TIG has, the tagline is for an inspired lifestyle. So I just want people to feel the positivity and excitement,
That's great.
Yeah.
Did you see how she shrugged her shoulders when the lady said, "Well, it's like your own mini Goop," and she went her shoulders up like, I don't know about that. So you could tell she didn't like the comparisons between the two. Well, she knows that her Tig was nowhere near like Gwyneth Paltrow's like 200 and something $1 million value on her website.
And it's got a lot of like cooking and travel and fashion.
All right. Now, Meghan Markle won't relaunch the Tig to rival, and this was on May of 2020. You see, now I'm going back for several years, so it's just talking about like she won't compare it to that. She will not choose to compete with Gwyneth at all in the Goop marketplace. Well, she won't compete at all because there's no way that she can, no matter how she wants to. Now, going back to March of 2023, now, Meghan Markle again to relaunch lifestyle blog and rival Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop. Well, if she was going to do that over the last 3 years, why hasn't she done it? She keeps talking about it just to keep herself out in the headlines, but there's some reason why she's not doing it. What is it? She doesn't even travel and go any place to be able to be on site and talk about the things that she does. All she does is borrow people's homes for free and ask for private jets to take her and Harry there. So it says that, again, that they hung out, and the lady says, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. For decades now, the royal family has captured the attention of the world, and that's showing no signs of slowing down. Hollywood events. So it says E.T. or Entertainment Tonight recently revealed that the pair went on a triple date with Gwyneth Paltrow, Cameron Diaz, and their spouses. An anonymous insider was quoted saying, see, an anonymous insider, that would be Meghan's camp. So I think what it is she's got the picture of her going in behind Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz wasn't talking to her, wasn't acknowledging her, and she just happened to be there. But I want to tell you a little bit about the restaurant. Everybody knows that this takes like a month to get into, and that this is the place to go and be seen. So, again, this just talks about them dining out. And then it says an eyewitness tells E.T. Well, the eyewitness is Meghan. There was no pictures of them. Nobody else said that there were. There were nobody else around. And it said the outing comes just days after Harry returned to the couple's Santa Barbara home following a short trip to England after King Charles III's coronation. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the houses. And just because they live up there, of course, they're going to go eat there at this sushi restaurant. So this is Cameron Diaz and Benji Madden's home in Montecito, worth $12.67 million. And look at this compared to Harry and Meghan's, and look at the view. Harry and Meghan just have a lot of property. They don't have a home that's built brand new from the ground up that looks like Cameron and Mr. Madden's. So, again, this is Cameron Diaz's and Benji Madden's home. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Reminds me of Oprah Winfrey's home, the way hers is built to go down in the lower level. Okay, and so it just talks about her 11,000 square foot mansion in Montecito. The deal closed last week for $12.65 million, and it's sitting on 1.77 acres in a gated community of Innisbrook. The estate boasts both ocean and mountain views. You can see the ocean right from their property. So this is Harry and Meghan's, of course. And see, they have a huge property, acres and acres of land, but their house is nothing like the Maddens, and the way it's laid out is a much older home and doesn't look anything like Gwyneth's or Cameron's. So that just talks about their home a little bit. And then this is just Gwyneth in her house in Montecito. And she has a gorgeous home. And everything is newly renovated and is all up to date. And she's just talking about her lifestyle brand. And it's reportedly valued at over $250 million, making her one of the richest stars in Hollywood. Of course, she's an actress, an A-list actress who has won an Oscar and numerous other awards, and so were her parents. Her mother was an actress, and I think her father was a director. And so this just talks about their house and how designer John Lautner designed the home in Malibu, known as Garwood Residence, and it says it bears a notable resemblance of that. But her main residence and forever home, as she stated herself, is in Montecito on the site of a fixer-upper she bought for $4.9 million and then raised completely to build her dream home. This is, you all know, Scooter Braun, who was Justin Bieber's manager, and this is his a picture of his home that appeared in Architectural Digest, and he lives in Montecito. So you can see why she wanted to be there. And then you have other people like Oprah Winfrey and Ariana Grande that also live there. Jennifer Aniston, Ellen DeGeneres, who live in Montecito. So Megan wanted to go there and thought she would live among the rich and famous and that she herself would be accepted. Well, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't mean because you're the neighbors that they're going to have anything to do with you. And also, among other stars who live there, Meg Ryan and Natalie Portman. And it goes back to say that that a lot of these celebrities and stuff, also Rob Lowe, which I think he sold his home a few months back, and that they've moved somewhere else. And this is Paltrow's dining room, and she was also in Architectural Digest. And this is where the sushi restaurant is compared to where they live. And if you'll look on the left, you'll see the Montecito Country Club. And you can see that this is in their area of Santa Barbara. And I want to tell you a little bit about the restaurant. So Sushi by Scratch restaurants. So its reservations are released on the first of the month at 10 a.m. And then they'll let you know the following month's availability. So it is run by Chef Philip Franklin Lee's omakase restaurant that serves up a whimsy of its namesake fare in 17 different courses. Now, what to let you know, excuse me, sorry, let you know what a little bit more about the restaurant is that it takes reservations up to a party of 1 to 10. Now, you make the reservations a month in advance. The first of the month, it opens up for reservations, and you must do a $25 deposit per person. And then it says if you're doing we invite you to join us for our exclusive one night only Sushi by Scratch Montecito. And then if it's one of their special tasting menus, reservations, you pay $50 deposit per person when making the reservations because they're going to be full. And this way they don't have to worry about the restaurant not having enough patrons in it if you have to wait a month to get your reservations just to be able to go. Now, let's go back to Sir Percy Blakeney, and he's on Instagram, and he posted this June 18th blind item. Remember the really rich guy from the well-known wealthy family who had lunch a couple times back with the A-list, mostly movie actress, and everyone was guessing whether they were a couple? Yeah, he had lunch in the past 10 days with the illiterate one. She certainly enjoys hanging out with single billionaires. So is this Mr. Gettr? Or there's also saying that she's went out with one of the Rothschild family members. So she's definitely going for the rich and famous and trying to attach herself to them to get free places to stay, use of the private jet, to get them to donate to their charity Archwell, which hopefully will be investigated. So the Daily Mail says Meghan McCain, the effing grifters, 3 shattering words that must make the Duke and Duchess of Delusion realize their land of make-believe is crashing down before them, their very eyes. So there was also the article from Bill Simmons, who was the CEO of Spotify, who has come out, and I don't know if I included it in this one or not, and called them this exact thing and said that he was on a podcast and said, one of these days I'm going to tell you about my late night Zoom calls with Harry, in which I'm trying to give him ideas of what they can do for their podcast with Spotify. And he said, believe me, it's unbelievable. And I think he's talking about how he threw out ideas and they're so dense and dumb. And maybe that's why Meghan just distanced herself from Harry and didn't do the podcast with him at all. It became her own personal thing. She uses him and his power and connections to get deals, but then she tries to do them on her own, which we see all end up failing. So And then it was rumored that they were looking to sue him. Hey, he's the CEO of Spotify. He can say whatever he wants. And if he wants to say that they were hard to get along with and difficult to get any kind of a product out of them, he's able to say that. He doesn't have to sign an NDA. No, he owns or he runs the company. Megan must be going crazy now because some of the things that makes a narcissist panic is loss of control. You see, she's losing these deals left and right. And I had put in a previous video that when you look up Heart of Invictus, it says that nothing is being done with it. And I searched that through Netflix. So I don't believe that that's ever going to come out either, because it was mostly interviewing Harry and Meghan and them being recorded taking the speeches instead of as many interviews as they wanted to be with the actual athletes that were participating. Independence. Yep, she can't be independent. She is an addictive personality that needs other people. Being ignored. Yep, she feels like she's being ignored all the time when she's not in the top of the headlines. Criticism. She's got the criticism from the car chase in New York. She's getting criticism from being dropped from Spotify. She's gotten criticism for everything she's done and not being able to make new content. Honesty. She hates it when somebody tells the truth about her. She can't take that. Humiliation. Of course she's being humiliated, on a global stage, being called out, losing, no special treatment, aging, being alone, authenticity. All of these are things that will make her just lose her mind and things that upset her. And then I wanted to tell you too, but I don't think it's in this one, but we wanted to talk about the Dior deal, but I'll save that for the next, because I had said to somebody, I said, there's no way she's getting a Dior deal. Yeah, Harry may have won a Dior shirt going in, and she may have won a white custom vintage Dior outfit for the last service that she attended over in the UK. But I don't believe that they would ever use her as an ambassador. One of the reasons why, because she's not an A-lister. She has a bad reputation, and nobody's going to use her as a brand ambassador. Plus the fact that she looks horrible in clothes, that she doesn't wear most of her outfits fitted properly. But I just wanted to see what you think about these things, and I'll be back with you in the next video. Again, sorry it took me a week or so to get back, but I'll try to get one in the next few days. But hope everybody is doing well. Stay safe, and blessings to you all. Bye.